Yo, what's going on, boys? It's your man back for another figure review. Now, today, you may know, any Neca fans in the chat may know that it is the Haulathon event going on right now. And if you know that these guys right here are new from the Haulathon event. Now, today we have the review of the Ninja Turtles. I'm pretty sure they're calling it the Color Guide 4-pack. Now, as you can see here, we'll bring a couple in at once. These are re-released figures, technically, of the original, or I guess re-released of the Turtles in Disguise figures. You can see I got a rough scuff right there. I don't know how I got that. That's sad. But these are re-released figures, and they are exclusive to Target, just like every other classic cartoon Ninja Turtles figure ever. Now, before we get into these guys here, I'm going to move them out of the way, and I'll see what I can do to try and get some shots of the box here, because this man is humongous. And I don't know if it'll be able to fit on the screen, but, ooh, not too bad. There you can see big old long box, got the boys. It says Ninja Turtles on the top. Back here, we got some nice product shots of the boys. Got some upcoming figures. Big deal, I got the Muckman. I have not seen Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady, and I don't think anyone has Toka and Razar yet, but soon. Now, before I get started on the review of the figures, I just want to give a little talk about Haulathon in itself and how I'm feeling about it. And I gotta say, I think Neca is doing a great job with this Haulathon event because personally for me, I've pretty much gotten every single figure I've wanted out of it for retail price, which with these Ninja Turtles figures, that is unbelievable. Sometimes, like, to get these figures alone, you had to buy the Turtles in Disguise pack, which is about 200 bucks right now. That's a little bit nuts bananas. But for this right now, well, it was 150 for these guys, so it's not much different, just retail price. And for the everything else that came out with Haulathon, like this guy, Metalhead, I got a Metalhead. I finally got the Pizza Monster. And I think this is a great, I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know. It's a great event they put on because they got exactly what they wanted, or at least what the fans wanted, which was being able to get these figures easily. It's not hunting for 15 years trying to find them. I just walked into Target, I waddled in there, said what's up to my boy Brady James, and then I found them on the shelf in the back. All right, so one more thing I do want to hit really quick before I even get started with the review. I've seen a lot of people going around and asking, is this 4-pack worth it? Now, the way I'm looking at it is, if you don't have the Turtles in Disguise pack, this is 100% worth it. Because you get the figures, you get all the accessories, pretty much everything's the same except they don't come with the disguises. Which I'm not the craziest fan of those disguises, you know, the big weird head and the trench coats and the pants. I'm not the biggest fan of those, so if you don't like that, this is the pack for you. But if you are looking for more technically bang for your buck, you're pretty much paying the extra on the secondhand market for the extra accessories. But it's a little more bang for your buck with the accessories. I'm pretty sure it is just the disguises they come with, maybe pizzas or something, I'm not sure. But now, moving on, it will actually get into the review here. So, the 4 figures we have in this set, we'll start one at a time. I'll move them off to the side and give you all a little showing. So the 4 figures we have, we'll start here with my boy Donatello. This figure is actually the worst out of the box for me. It is just QC issues. All of the figures are pretty much the exact same, just with color changes, and I guess facial structures kind of look different. Not really though, it is just the colors and the logo on the belt. But other than that, I think these figures really came out clean. The only reason I didn't buy the Turtles in Disguise pack was because of the color of the green they made those turtles. I was really not a fan of the darker green. I'm more of a fan of this lime green they have on these ones right here. Which is, once again, why I think this being a good deal all depends on what you already have and what you're personally looking for. Because for me, this is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want any disguises. I didn't really care about that. I just wanted my 4 turtles in a decent light green color. And this is kind of that. This is that, I guess, collector gap to fill in. Or maybe, technically, it would be more of a personal gap, because I wanted these turtles and they only released the darker ones. And on top of it, before the first release of the Turtles in Disguise was the very shiny not metallic but glossy ones, and that one I wanted even less than the matte ones. But that's why I like this. They're giving us the option to get the exact turtles we're looking for in exactly the kind of way we want them. And going along with the rest of the Haulathon stuff, a lot of the exclusives have been crazy money on the side because, you know, scalpers, they like to find them, buy all of them, and then put them on eBay for quadruple the price, which is what's going on. So I'd say if you want any of these figures, go hunting at your local Target. I'd hate to say it, but you kind of already missed the boat to get the 4-pack, because with the way Haulathon, I'm not sure if this is true, but the way I think Haulathon is working is they're kind of doing it in waves. Like the first wave was the 4-pack, the Pizza Monsters, the Metal Heads, the Ash versus or just the Evil Dead Ash. The what are they? They release so much, it's just crazy. And that's the one problem though, is that it's kind of in a wave system. Like the first wave was these guys. The second wave is going to be the Super Bebop, Mighty Rocksteady, Rat King, and Vernon, all those kind of guys. And then what I think there's going to be maybe a third one, and that's when the Toka and Razar is going to start flooding out. But I'm not too sure. I'm just talking out of my booty here. So if you're looking for these figures, I'd say just go to your local Target, check a couple of them. They may still have them left in stock. The last time I went a couple of days ago from when this was recorded, and they only had one 4-pack left at a Target, and that was it. People are going bananas like usual. The scalpers, they see them, they sell them and stuff. So if you want them, you got to just go to Target and be on top, because the way the Haulathon works, it's kind of for you to be able to get them easy, which is what I like. I'm a fan of that because, of course, I'm a collector. I be in the trenches every day. But with this, it just makes it so you don't have to be in the trenches every day, even though you still kind of do, but whatever. So now, moving on, we'll talk a little bit about the paint and sculpt on these guys. I'll pick the one that probably has the best paint for me, which I think may be my boy Leonardo. But I'm pretty sure the paint is very, very nice. It's like I was saying, they went for a more limey green. I guess I'm colorblind. If, as mentioned before, I don't know. It looks good to me, so that's what I'll say. It's got that kind of a lighter green with the matte finish, which they really haven't had these turtles with before. The Turtles in Disguise was a lot darker of a tone, and I did not like that. Not that it's inaccurate, because in the show they bounce colors back and forth half the time. The voice actors will change, and then the colors on the bandana won't be right. It's just funny, but it's not inaccurate. That's the thing. This green is more of the casual look, I guess I'd say, for them when they're in the sewer or running around upside. But when they do have the disguises on, they tend to color them a lot darker, so it makes sense that they give it like that. And in the show, sometimes the turtles are darker. Like, I believe Michelangelo is normally darker than the rest of them, so you could, you could buy the Turtles in Disguise pack to get a darker Michelangelo to technically make it even more accurate, but I don't know. Now, moving on to the sculpt for these guys, it is the exact same as the Turtles in Disguise sculpt, and I think it still holds up great. I'm a big, big fan of these designs for the turtles. I think they caught the likeness almost perfectly. The paint can mess it up sometimes, like if you don't have the best paint, or like my Michelangelo, his head looks dented, like not this one, the other one, it looks like it's a little dented, someone might have dropped him. But it is figure to figure, but if you get a good one, they look super, super good. The paint is super clean as always. It looks really good, the shading all fits nicely, and I'm really a big fan of the matte they used. It looks pretty much perfect, where it's still got a little bit of shine, but still not gleaming like the other one. Now, moving on to the articulation. This is I've actually was worried about this. I was like, what am I going to do? I can't do 4 figures with articulation. But the one thing I forgot to realize is that they are all the same figure. So I'll take my boy Mikey here. We'll switch it up a little bit. So at the head, you can see the bandana has a hinge on it. So you can put it up, down, and it does swivel, which I'm also a big, big fan of this, because these are my first cartoon turtles. I've never had any other ones. But I've seen the Turtles in Time ones. They have those, like, I guess it would just be one-piece faces. These ones have the 2 separate pieces. And I hate those head sculpts. The faces look bad, the mouths are disgusting, and that's why I'm a big, big fan of these ones. It's because it's an easy way to get the good faces with it. But back to the bandana. This is the way it's articulated is a nice way to get it so you can have pretty much different bandanas without actually having to interchange them. Now going into the head here, he looks up pretty decently far, not too bad. He looks down, the same, not too bad. You might be able to get a little bit more with a different head. Maybe the jaw isn't the same. Maybe a little bit of pushing. It's on a ball joint here, and then a ball joint at the neck, and then at the ball joint at the base of the neck, so you can get all your movement around. And I really do got to say, I got to give it to Neca. They gave these guys such good articulation on such a weird build. Like a turtle, you wouldn't think they'd have good articulation, but they really do. They have phenomenal articulation. Now, at the shoulder here, they go up about that far. Of course, you could push a little bit more. Rotation all the way around. Again, you want to be careful to not scuff the shell. You don't want to scuff the arm. Don't get one of paint rubs. Here at the bicep, you got a nice little swivel. Then going down to the elbow, you have another swivel, and then just a single hinge. And again, with all this articulation, you probably could push it more, especially with the elbows, because there's the elbow pad. You could probably squeeze a little bit more. But with a figure like this and this expensive, I wouldn't even risk it. There's no need to. Then moving down from the elbow to the wrist here, it's the usual hinge swivel design. So you get your hinge, or your swivel, my bad, and then you can just hinge it. Ugh. Yeah, I haven't used these hands much. They're not loosened up, but they go up and down, of course. Usual hand articulation. And now, I don't think I've ever done the Turtles in Time review, so this right here, their midsection, the top piece right here is solid, and then below it, the shell is kind of soft, and then there's a ball joint in here, so you can get pretty much a diaphragm joint, but it's more of a lower leg kind of joint, like the legs move instead of the upper body, which is normally how it is. I think it might just seem that way, I don't know. But with that articulation, if you grip the legs, you can get your side to side. You get some really decent forward and back. Let me move his arm out the way. You get some decent forward and back. It's just the shell, of course, is in the way. And the last thing you want is a warped up shell, just because you wanted to have Michelangelo hitting the stanky leg or something. And again, like usual with Neca figures, the legs are probably the weakest parts. I don't know about weakest, but they're the most prone to breaking. So please be careful when you're doing this. At the legs, he kicks out to the side beautifully. He could hit a mean ninja kick. Comes down, forward. You can get them very far forward. More depends on which angle you go. If you want it straight forward, you're going to have to kind of mess with the shell. I prefer to go out to the side because I don't like scuffage. At the thigh too, all the way at the top, there is a little bit of a thigh swivel on top of the joint. It is very stiff though, so again, be careful, because if you try and twist it, you could just crack the ball joint in the leg clean off, so don't do that. Come to the knees here. Nice double jointed knee. Again, you could push it more, but I don't want no scuffing. Coming down to the ankle. These ankles actually work pretty good. You can see I never cleaned out the paint in there, but eventually I will. Foot goes up that far. It goes back. Pretty all right. You could push it more again. And then, of course, you need it. You got that nice ankle pivot. It's not as crazy, and it is kind of on an angle, so it might hurt the posing a little bit. But, of course, it's still good to have the classic ankle pivot. Now, for articulation, these guys are pretty well articulated. You can't really get as many crazy ninja poses because you're risking scuffing the figure, messing up the paint, all that kind of stuff. So you could, but you can't, kind of. It's a mid-ground if you want to. Now, moving on for accessories, what we'll start with here is faces. We'll do Raph first. So he comes with this. Well, technically, every single figure comes with every single thing. Like, each of the Ninja Turtles all come with the kind of angry eyes, and then the open, more wider eyes. And then the way it works, let's hope this works easy for me, is you can pop out the top piece here, and then the lower mouth is its own thing, which I'm a big, humongous fan of this, because just with this one little thing, it makes all of the four figures have, what is it, 4 separate expressions, which is great. On top of being able to mix and match, maybe you want the open eyes with the screaming, he's all yelling, he's scared. Or maybe you want the closed eyes with the screaming, this man is going in to beat somebody up. I'm a big fan of the head swapping system, which I'm pretty sure was introduced with the Turtles in Disguise and then never used again until this. Well, they haven't really released any cartoon Turtles, but this is one of the best head sculpt, head swap ideas any company has gone with, and it works perfectly because all four of the figures are pretty much the same character, just slightly color changed. So, well, I guess I'll just show off all the faces we have. There's, of course, little smile face, casual smiling gloat, looking good. You can have the wide eyes or the angry eyes, as I said. And then you got a little bit of like a scared, don't know what's happening kind of face. The next one, like I said before, you got the screaming, the man looks good. And I'm a big fan. Well, I guess it would be a hypocrite if I said I like it with the open mouth, because this man right here has the closed. But I like that the mouth is open and you can see inside it, and it's got the tongue and everything. It looks very good. Then the last face here, my favorite personally is the smiling happy face, because if you mix it with a thing like this, the angry eyes, it looks like they're about to go beat up Bebop and Rocksteady, rough them up for no reason. The boys, they deserve better. All right, so next, moving, I'll do the hands quick. So all 4 turtles come with a pair of these, just regular old gripping hands. And then on top of that, Leonardo comes with, well, technically you can use them on any of the turtles, but Leonardo comes with 2 of these open hands, more splayed out, flat key blast hands for all the Dragon Ball fans. Then Donatello, he comes with these pointing, kind of holding something on an angle, kind of grip hands. Comes with 2 of those, of course. Raphael, he comes with his side holding hands where the finger is out in the middle, so you can take the accessory here and put it right in there. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to try and break it, but you got 2 of those hands, of course. And then Mikey, oh, the old Mikey, comes with his nice little thumbs up hand, an icon. Something you need if you're a turtle fan. All right. Now, this is going to be the little bit of a rougher part because there's just so much to go through here. But next, we're going to go, ooh, my bad with that. We'll go through the weapons. We'll start with Donatello's bow staff here. I'm actually going to try and move some of these guys to get some better focus. But you can see very nice detail on the bow staff. Not a lot of paint. I'm not sure if it ever was painted. Like, it looks like, oh dear Lord, excuse me. It looks like maybe the wrap around it could have been painted like a tanny or whatever color that tape would be. But other than that, the paint's pretty nice. And not having this before, I was kind of scared that it would break, but it's made of a pretty decent flexible plastic, so it might look a little warped out of box, but if you kind of straighten it out, you'll be fine. And there's no worries of it breaking either, which I was very, very worried about that. Now moving on, we'll get this out of the way. Here we have Leonardo's sword. A nice little sculpt on this sword, some decent paint. And a good thing I've seen with all these weapons is, I don't know if they maybe changed the paint they used, but I haven't gotten any scuffing on the handles from putting them in the hands or anything. So they're really nice. That I don't know if maybe they changed the paint, maybe that's just how the turtles themselves were made with higher quality paint. But these ones have no problems. Here coming through to show the scythe off, same thing. Not an issue with paint scuffing, and this one is pretty tight in his hand, so I'm very happy it works very nicely. The scythe too, I'd say be very careful. This isn't a very pliable plastic. Like, if you push it, this will just snap. So be very, very careful when you're using it, putting it in his hand and stuff around the belt and everything. Now, another good one. We got not Leonardo, my bad. We got Mikey's nunchucks. And I'm actually a bigger fan compared to the Turtles in Time one. I prefer the chain on this one, but I actually like the chuck part of it better. I don't know. A fellow chucker, eh? I'm a big fan of these ones. I'm about to just say big fan. I'm a big fan of this whole pack. Just get that out of the way now. I really, really like it. And for someone, again, it's like what it's really made for, I believe, is the people that didn't get the Turtles in Disguise pack, because it's pretty much the same thing, but with no disguises. So I don't know, the only reason I feel they put it out is because of the Turtles in Disguise. But moving here to the next accessory, Michelangelo does come with the spinning nunchuck accessory, as you can see. It looks really good, and I prefer this actual spinning thing to the Turtles in Time one. I feel like I should have done the Turtles in Time review, but once I saw these guys came out, I was like, nah, no reason to. Looks very good. This one is a little bit stiffer, but still kind of loose. So when you use it, more lean towards whatever way it's stiffer on, because for some reason they're like that, where one side is loose, then one side it actually holds. So just lean it for whatever side it holds. It'll look really good, and they balance very good too. And I don't think you have any worries about this breaking. There's no real worries. All right, so that's weapons done. Now we'll move on to just kind of tools, I guess. This one is probably my favorite out of all the accessories. It's the turtle grappling hook, dying light style. The detail on this thing is great. It's got some actual moving parts. It can move, you open it up. Ooh, I don't want to break it. This man is fragile. So it looks very nice. Of course, you got your string. You could actually maybe hang something from this. I would never do it, but if you're feeling frisky, you could probably hang a turtle from this. Have him climbing up the side of the Channel 6 building or something like that. The quality of the string is very nice on that too. I just want to mention it. Now we'll move on to the only thing I actually don't know what it is for sure. I could take a wild guess and just say it's a mutagen container. It's gone. You saw it for a minute. I'm guessing it's a mutagen container. I think there's some sort of magnet in it. If I didn't just drop it, I would tell you, but I don't know. Now, moving on to the next thing. They come with 2 of these turtle comms. Make sure you remember there's 2 of them. 2 open ones, and then 2 closed ones. I really do like these turtle comms. They're very nice quality. The detail is super, super good, too, for how small they are. All the nice paint and sculpting on it. Tremendous. All right, now, moving on to everyone's favorite, we got the pizzas. So, in the box, they're the exact same thing, pretty much. I'll bring in one up close so you can see it nice there. It's got some decent, looks like a pepperoni, maybe some mushrooms on that sucker. But very nice pizza sculpt. This pizza itself does not come out, but on the back, there are 2 separate pizza places. You got Ninja Pizza, that was in an episode I remember, and Vinny's, which I do not remember. It might just be like the classic one, I don't know. But the paint on these is quite nice. The sculpting altogether is pretty good too. I'm a big fan of the way the boxes are angled. I think it looks good to be open on the table. But the one problem would be if you try to set them up together, it takes up a whole lot of space and you need a big, big table to do it. So that's the one, I guess you could call it a downside of the pizzas. And now for the very last accessory, coming in, the slice of the za. Look at that. Ooh, ooey gooey. About to post this on the gram. And the one thing I do like about this, you may be able to see the bullet hole in it. You can put it on top of the sai. Nice, sick accessory. Looking good. Big fan of that. Big fan of everything. Big fan of the Ninja Turtles. Big fan of this 4-pack. So, now bringing them all back together. We'll squish the boys in because it's about time for some comparisons. Let's go. I'll actually just put Donnie in the front. Donnie don't get enough love. Actually, you know what? Donnie, get out of here. Oh no! I'm only going to use one turtle for comparisons here, just to free up some space. We'll do my boy Raph. I feel like he hasn't gotten love yet. So for the first wave of comparisons, we'll bring in some of the other Haulathon figures I got during the event. We got the boy Metalhead. We got the Pizza Monster. I could see why people were killing each other over this figure now. I didn't really understand it at first. I was like, he seems all right. Why are people going bananas? I can understand 100% now. So for scaling, of course, same exact figure, made for this scale. They look very good in scale, and they fit. I've had so much fun finally being able to put these characters with the villains I've had for so long. My boy Dirtbag Ground Chuck, Wingnut and Screw Loose. What was that about? Bebop and Rocksteady, how could I forget? They look super good with them, and it's finally nice to have the turtles to go with the villains I've been collecting for a long time. Now, next couple of comparisons. Here's another thing I scored at the Toy Vault. Technically Haulathon, I guess, because they might have gotten it from Target. But we got the Frankenstein Raph, and then more of just a generic figure for me. We got Mafex Carnage. For scaling in general, these guys are tiny. They're string bean boys. Well, they're thick, but they're small. They're very short. Like, compared to, one sec, let me just... I don't know why I didn't think of this at first, but bringing it in and comparing them to the movie figures, that was rough. But you can really see just the size difference, because my man Mikey ain't even standing up right. But you can really see the difference, because they're, in the cartoon, they are super, super short, so it's accurate, but just know that going in. If you expecting more big chunky figures, that's not really what these are. They're kind of the small, accurate boys. They're the boys, that's all I can say. So, moving these guys out of the way, my light is about to die. It's been a quite long video. I don't know how many people are going to watch this whole thing, but if you did, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this 4-pack, and I'm going to continue enjoying it with Dirtbag and Ground Chuck. Now, that should be about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, now that we're all done with it, I'll say it again. I do believe these are a good deal, but only in this circumstance if you don't have the Turtles in Disguise. because all these are is the exact same thing. The light just died, but the exact same thing, but without the disguises. So no pants, no coat, no weird interchangeable heads, and that's about it. If you don't care about that stuff, this is the thing to get. But if you do, I say just throw the extra 40, 50 bucks to get the whole Turtles in Disguise pack, because it's definitely still worth it. I think both of these packs are worth the price they're putting them up for, which is a good thing, because if you've been in the Haulathon, you see those the signature series figures. I actually found one or two, and I went and checked out with it, and I did not know those figures were $100 a piece. You could get almost this whole 4-pack for the price of a Gizmo signed figure, and he just kept showing up. Every Target I went to, that man was just chilling. But nonetheless, Haulathon, great, good for collectors, great, even better for just casual people that want to buy it, because now you have the chance to, because the collectors always go in and steal it, the scalpers on top of it. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, I don't know, I feel like I should say that. And then I'll see you in the next one. The next video, you know what, we'll keep it a secret. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.